Hi guys, welcome back to my series Agile Development 101. In the past couple of episodes, we built a roadmap and detailed out an MVP for the next major release of the product. So this would be done by the product owner in conjunction with input from the stakeholders and the development team. Now, our midterm goal is to get to this version 2.0 release. So we need release planning to be done, which is also the responsibility of the product owner. So release planning is essentially the sequencing of the items which are required to achieve this release. They'll be sequenced primarily by value, as determined by the product owner, but there will be influence from things like technical dependencies and other things that come up, right? So it's flexible, and these items will eventually move into sprints, and we'll have as many sprints as we need until we get to version 2.0. So I'm not going to manage this release planning on this document. This document is a high-level roadmap, which should be visible to everybody, but it's not a great tool for flexibly moving around timelines and so on. So I'm going to use something very similar to Trello, which is on GitHub. It's called projects. And if you've seen Trello before, you'll recognize this. So new project, we will call it version 2.0 shipment MVP. Right? And instead of lists, we have columns. So we'll have to do, in progress, and done. Okay. So these lists, or what do they call them? Columns, are very similar to the lists in Trello. You can also add notes, which is like in Trello a card. And here we can, at first, we can put in our epics. So there's epic, our first epic, our second epic, and our third epic. Okay. Again, an epic is a product backlog item that is too large to be represented by a single user story. It's too large to be estimated, and it needs to be broken down before it can be worked on. The developer, which is myself as well, from this one sentence or this one statement, I don't know enough about how long it will take me. And the risk of saying I will do it is that I will give an inaccurate timeline. And I also won't have great focus because the task, for larger tasks, it's hard to maintain focus. It's always better to break down problems into bite-sized chunks. So, and it may be that these items have another problem, which they might be interdependent. And typically you want cards to be independent of each other. That way they can be taken in isolation. So what should happen now, assuming I was more than one person, instead I'm going to be a split personality today, the product owner should represent the business view of what should come first, and the development team should give feedback and ask questions to the product owner to clarify what actually needs to be done and break it down. So this is kind of a backlog grooming session where we work on the backlog, but we're not actually developing anything right now, and we're not actually planning an individual sprint. So if I look, let's reorder these. Ability to record a shipment, cargo, movement, status. Okay, so that's a hint as to what we could break it down into. We could record cargo, we could record movement, we could record status. So I'm going to break down the card immediately. Ability to record shipment cargo. ability to record shipment movement, and ability to record shipment status. Do you record the status? I think status doesn't, it's not really record status to reflect shipment status is probably more accurate. Okay, and then I can remove this one. Right? And I have these three. So let's take them one at a time. Shipment cargo. So we need to, so with my product owner hat on, we need to record what will eventually get displayed on the bill of lading or the airway bill. Okay, and that's basically it's some numbers, volume, weight, number of packages, and then there's some description. Now, I put on my developer hat, and I would probably ask for a lot of examples of airway bills and bills of lading so that I know exactly what the output looks like, which makes it much easier to determine what the input should look like. Thankfully, I've looked at some of these before, so I have some idea of what they look like. And but then I need to highlight something, which is that we've already made a quote, and the quote actually has cargo information on it already. Wouldn't it be great if I didn't have to rewrite this from scratch in order to use in a shipment? Wouldn't it be great if what I have, either I could take everything I've done in the quote and apply it to the shipment, or I could tweak what I've done in the quote so that it works for both the shipment and the quote. And so probably there needs to be some work done because we want reusability. So there's record shipment cargo. There's kind of a technical prerequisite, which is adjust cargo component to be isomorphic between shipment and quotation. Okay, so I have this kind of technical product backlog item that I need to take care of before I can do this one. And also, since I'm a developer, I'm thinking about all the things that need to be done. In order to record a shipment at all, I'm going to need some kind of way to view shipments, and I need a page for shipments, some way to search or view them. And I have something similar for customers. Right? This is my customer list. I probably need. So are we going to make a shipment list, or are we going to list the shipments under the customers? So here I'm listing all the quotes under the customers. I would ask the product owner, should it be under customers or should it be something separate? I put back on my product owner hat and I'll say, no, the reason we put shipments here is because we intended for shipments to appear in the same list somehow. Although I'm not sure if they should appear under a quote or if they should be independent. But we should be modifying this customer screen to include the shipments. So that creates another product backlog item. Adjust customer view to include shipments. And then I can put under quotes because we're not sure about that point. So as we talk through this, we keep identifying more and more work, and each of these things turns into a product backlog item, which will then be sequenced by the product owner and then split up into sprints. Okay, now let's say that's all we were going to do for now. The product owner needs to sequence them, so I can drag them up or down into an ordered list. So I might actually say adjust this first, and then I would probably Yeah, actually, it's probably in a um, it's in a pretty good order, except for this quotation information. I think we should probably do that before the documentation. So I should have a way to record these three things, and then I will bring that, I'll migrate that data in from a quote, build that function, and then um, I will do the document. Right? So these cards may get broken down more in the future, but right now I have a pretty good breakdown for at least the next sprint. Okay. Now, my sprint lengths vary a lot because it's all in my spare time, and I don't always know how many minutes I will get in an evening or on the weekend to work on it. So I typically try to take one card, something I can do in one day, typically like one card. Um, so I would say that in the first sprint, I would probably take just this and make sure it's well tested and well done. It meets my definition of done. So um, this is how we would start release planning. And in the next episode, I will go into a bit of um, sprint planning and talk more about definition of done. Thanks for watching.